A weary Janie Ia rises to face another long day. At the beginning of the film, we learn that her daughter is ill. As she gets her daughter Arya ready for school, Janie Ia suffers from seizures and takes medication to control them. She had fallen and bruised her back the day before during one such episode while taking a bath. Despite Arya's insistence that she can bathe alone, her mother is too afraid to leave her unattended. The girl begs her mom for $40 because her teacher scolded her for having a special lunch instead of bringing her own lunch money, and for eating unhealthy food. She needed the money to eat healthy. Janie Ia promises to drop by before lunch to hand over the cash, even if it means being late for work. The landlord, who is also in a difficult financial situation, shows up with an eviction notice and demands immediate payment. She threatens to dispose of everything if Janie Ia doesn't pay. Janie Ia promises to return around noon after receiving her paycheck to give her the money. After dropping Arya off at school, Janie Ia heads to the grocery store where she works. Her boss is already fuming over her tardiness, and his lack of concern is immediately apparent. Only her co-worker shows any genuine care. Shortly after arriving, the school calls her to say she must come immediately. Her boss isn't happy about her sudden departure, but agrees to let her go if she promises to return within 30 minutes. Her account balance is only $47, so she tries to withdraw $40 from the bank across the street. However, she's told she must maintain a minimum balance and can't withdraw the amount she needs. When Janie Ia arrives at her daughter's school, she finds that social services have taken Arya away. The teacher had called them. She's just worried that Janie Ia couldn't, and she will have to learn the consequences of things not listening to people's advice. Jania's car is struck her to stop pursuing this, but the driver is a police officer. And you know, when you let the emotions get the best of you, her car is towed. Yourself in trouble. She receives a ticket. Thanks for watching, and ends up 2 hours late to work. This gives her boss a reason to fire her. He refuses to give her the paycheck and says it will be mailed. When Janie Ia returns home, the landlord has thrown out all of her belongings, including her daughter's medication and school science project. Devastated, she returns to work and pleads for her paycheck, but her boss still refuses. At that exact moment, 2 armed men enter the store and attempt to rob it, holding Janie Ia and her boss at gunpoint. In the chaos, Janie Ia shoots one of the robbers, especially after seeing him trying to steal her daughter's belongings, including the science project. Instead of appreciating her bravery, her boss accuses her of being involved in the robbery. When he calls 911 to report her, she shoots and kills him. Janie Ia grabs her check and heads across the street to the bank to cash it. When the teller asks for ID, Janie Ia, already in a fragile state, pulls out her pistol, saying it was stolen. The teller panics, presses the emergency alarm, and the situation escalates. The bank mistake further compounds Jania's legal problems. She's now not only a suspect in her boss's death, but is also perceived as a bank robber. That, however, is just the beginning of her nightmare. She loses everything: her daughter to social services, her job, her car, her home, and her paycheck. After holding up the bank, the worst happens. Arya dies after a severe seizure. At first, Janie Ia tries to deny the loss and begins hallucinating her daughter to cope. The emotional dam breaks when her mother calls, revealing Arya's death the night before. This sets Janie Ia on a mental and emotional collapse. After murdering her boss and holding up a bank, Janie Ia is now facing a potential life sentence. Under ordinary circumstances, she would be imprisoned without parole. However, there is considerable evidence of her psychological unraveling throughout the day. Multiple witnesses can attest to her instability and the spontaneous nature of the crimes. Though her boss's death complicates her defense, proving she had no intent to rob the bank may not be difficult. Her only goal was to retrieve her $500 paycheck. The check was already on the table, and had she truly intended theft, she could have taken more. She scolded the teller and insisted she only wanted her check cashed. Regarding the bank incident, it's highly probable at least one hostage will testify in her favor, citing the sympathy they felt. Janie Ia let hostages go easily and even offered them chairs. When she learned an elderly woman had diabetes, she let her leave without hesitation and expressed deep regret. Although prosecutors may use the bomb as evidence, it was never detonated and was, in fact, part of her daughter's science project, further humanizing her actions. Jani never expected her day to unfold this way. She was already heartbroken, struggling to survive in a world that seemed stacked against her. Considering the full context, a reduced sentence or transfer to a mental health facility might be most appropriate. That environment could give her the chance to rest, recover, and find hope again. Daughter, Twist explained. Jani spent the entire film fighting for her daughter. Even as she faces arrest, she pleads with bank manager Nicole to watch over Arya. Nicole, moved by Jania's plight, agrees and promises to bring Arya to visit her mom in prison. But there's a heartbreaking twist. The next morning, Jani receives a call from her mother, Delore, revealing that Arya passed away from a seizure the night before. No matter how broken Jani feels, she can't stop seeing her daughter, now just a hallucination, as a way to process the unbearable loss. Like many viewers, actor and director Perry was stunned by the twist. Realizing the child wasn't there the whole time was just as shocking to me as I think it will be to the audience, he said. When I spotted her on the screen, I burst into tears. You could bet the audience will be moved too. Review. A struggling single mother pushed to the brink by a series of unfortunate events, including job loss, eviction threats, and police misconduct. Taraji P. Henson delivers an awards-worthy performance, portraying Jani with emotional intensity, especially during her breakdowns and monologues. However, while her performance is a standout, the film suffers from forced and illogical plot points. The film's urgency feels predictable and sometimes contrived. Events unfold in ways that strain credibility, such as an unsympathetic boss blaming Jani for a robbery she stopped. The ending, while emotionally charged, feels like a cop-out that undercuts the film's tension with an abrupt tonal shift. Additionally, the film's production design is underwhelming. Cheap sets and costumes don't do justice to the weight of the story. Still, Sherry Shepherd's performance as Nicole adds a powerful and grounding presence, elevating the film's emotional resonance.